Louisa, what did you want to be when you were growing up?
I wanted to be a hairdresser.
All right.
And I think I wanted to be a hairdresser more for the administrative part of it.
I'm sorry. Can you specify the administrative parts of hairdressing?
So my hairdressers had a name called Skylocks.
Yeah. All right.
This is the 80s. And
Hmm.
I had a little desk in my room. It was my bedside table, but I could turn it around like it was the counter of a hairdresser's.
I mean, fair
And
dues.
I used to design price lists. So it was more the development of the hairdressers rather than the actual cutting of hair, I think. So maybe I wanted to be an administrator when I grew up, which
I'm
sounds
very sorry for this
awful.
phase. No, I'm wearing slippers, and Heba has decided that my toes need cleaning.
Oh no.
Hey, but don't do that. That tickles so much. Thank you. But that was that what that face was, because suddenly, and I didn't realize that she was under the table
Oh
either.
no.
So it was a moment of,
Yeah.
I don't know, terrifying
This,
sensory
this is Max's
experiences.
dog, by the way, that she never normally comes and visits us when we're doing these recordings.
Heba doesn't usually, but it's usually Bella, but she's out
Yeah.
on the balcony.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway, yes, hairdresser, administrative, hairdressing.
Yep, that was the thing. I was designing my logos and having fun with that. But that's what sticks in my head
But
whenever.
what's funny is that what you have then ended up becoming is someone who, I mean, not that you're administrating hairdressers, but you are someone who, who runs systems
Mhm.
and all of that stuff. So it does kind of end up having become part of what you actually do, which is very fun.
Yeah. What about you, Max? What did you want to be when you grew
Well,
up?
a little bit later, I think. I don't know what I wanted to become when I was like an actual Wayne, but I wrote songs and plays and things. So, and I always wanted to become a storyteller and a comedian, and so I mean, essentially, that's what I've become. I'm not a comedian, but I do write
You have
stories.
your moments.
I mean, I'm funny, but they say that's trauma. Anyway, no, but I did become a storyteller, just in a different capacity from being on stage, and I don't necessarily need to be on stage. But yeah, storytelling, that was it for me.
Did you have stories when you were at school that you remember?
Well,
Like what?
I did a children's book
Oh.
um for art class,
Mhm.
which was about a princess who had a pet monster, and the monster would tell stories. Yeah, storytelling.
Nice.
And then the prince in the kingdom next door kidnaps the monster because he's bored and he wants to listen to stories as well. And
Uh-huh.
eventually they share the pet, like they listen to the stories together. Um,
Disney story
I
that.
mean, I've been listening to like songs I wrote when I was, I mean, they're pretty angsty because I was a teenager. Uh, and you're like, oh, yeah. There's like so much cringe involved. But then at the same time, you're like, but I did, I did that. I wrote a bunch of musicals that were performed in my school. I wrote like both the actual, I wrote the whole thing, including music and stuff. And oddly enough, I can still sing some of those songs when I hear them. And I'm like, why is this still in my brain? That is really weird. But yeah, so I wrote a lot, and like, um, uh, you know, the fact that those plays got performed, I mean, they weren't the best work imaginable, but they were good enough for teachers to go like, yeah, go ahead, go put it on for the Christmas thing or the Easter thing.
Mm. Oh, it's amazing though. I think when you hear about kids wanting to be an astronaut or a firefighter or something, there's something within that role that has caught your attention. And it might be that astronauts love numbers. Like there's a whole science and mechanical side behind being an astronaut. Maybe that's the thing that makes it so appealing. Like the
Yeah.
The fact
I
you
mean,
got to
it's funny
make
that both
food.
of us had an ambition that somehow translated into the work that we're actually doing. And I
Yeah.
think it's funny as well, like when you explore this and and you can start telling these stories, and because they explain why it is that you do what you do, right? Like they are part of the fabric of you as a person and you as a business owner.
Yeah. But I think
And
it's different to what is a dream, because I think people get lost in this idea of what you wanted to be when you grow up, being your dream in life. And if you
mm,
don't get to that dream, then you've failed. And it's like they're a very different type of thought process. And I think that's also important to know that, you know, when you grow up, it can be anything. And that's the thing. It is your imagination going wild about this whole idea of who you are. When you start to get into the dreams of what you want to achieve, you then have to start setting goals and, there's steps you have to take in order to reach that dream. But this lovely thing of I wanted to dance, I wanted to be a dancer, I wanted to be a ballerina when I was young. And and then it shapes, you then go to ballet school or you learn dancing, and then it might be that you dance in high school because you built those skills up from this
so like
idea.
for me, it was always sort of and the Dutch comedy culture is different from stand up, right?
Mhm.
It's a lot more storytelling based and there's songs and like it's a lot less punchy than stand up tends to be. Um but funny. And that was my ambition, right? It was the songs and the storytelling and the weaving and the weaving all of that together. And I mean, I wanted to be on stage then. I am less inclined to do that now. Um, but um, but it's funny when because it wasn't the ambition in the sense that I didn't then go to like the specific art school that would have taught me those skills, right? That's not how I got there. But like you say, there's something at the heart of it that, something at there's part of that job. But as a child, you don't have the concept of the many thousands of potential careers you could have. So
Yeah.
you pick one that you know that has those elements that you're drawn to, and that's where, and I think that's the dreaming, right? Is the but there's something that I innately know that I want to do and that I'm good at, and I'm going to hook that to something that where I understand it has a place. Now as business owners, we can hook that to whatever we want it to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's also a reality of people like to kill your dreams.
Mm.
They like to dismiss your ideas. And I think as a kid, people are less likely to go, "Oh, you can't do that. I want to be an astronaut." No, you can't do that.
I like that meme that goes around sometimes when there's a kid that says, I want to be an astronaut or something. And then the mom says, well, that's hard work. You have to go to college, you have to pass a medical exam, you have to, like, I don't know. And then the kid goes, well, that's only four things. And I really like that because that is the reality of a child thinking about, well, so I do four things and then I'm an astronaut, right? Like it's amazing because it's so beautifully simplified. And that is maybe an invitation to sort of think about this, think about what you want it to be in the simplest terms.
Yeah.
How is that reflected in what you do now? And is there still a passion there?
Yeah. And I feel bad for people who are like, I want to be on stage, and they've got two left feet, can't sing, and they sort of go through the hoops of
So do TED Talks. Like, who
yeah,
cares why you're on stage? If
yeah.
you want to be on
But
stage.
that's
Find
the thing.
something that you're good at.
Yeah, that was my point, was it might be the act of it doesn't have to be what you see on stage. So if you see an actor on Broadway, that might not be the goal of what you mean by on stage. So it's like
I
what was
mean, being a teacher is being on stage to a
yeah,
large degree. It's
yeah,
entertaining a group of hard to entertain people.
yeah, definitely, definitely. And I mean, you try and try again, and at some point you'll either keep going or you'll say, well, that was fun, but I have to do something else now. So, but I think that little thing that you had when you were young, is so lovely to connect to every so often and go, either what was I thinking or how cool is this? I love that idea. Yeah.
I mean, you build a whole administrative hairdressing desk in your room. That's amazing.
Yeah. I can still remember designing the word Skylocks on a page. And I think I would get to like O and run out of page. And I'd start again on a bigger piece of paper. But it's yeah, and I there's elements of what we dream about and what we want to be, as we grow up in life that can, as you say, can be built into the way that we work. Like if you love comedy, if you're a really happy person, you don't have to be serious in business, or it doesn't have to be that, that you change who you are because you think that you should be something else when you get there. It's like if you always dreamed to be a comedian, don't dismiss that because you feel like you need to be something else in your environment.
This is obviously what my entire philosophy is about. So I agree.
Yeah.